Hello, friends. Host Eric here, host of Talking with Fence People, with another exciting typing session. This time with Christina, and I should probably put my name here too. There we go. Okay. So Christina, I typically ask for a little bit of background in terms of your knowledge and experience with typing, typology, cognitive functions, how long you've been into it, and if you have, like, say, say you're currently debating between two possible types, I'd like to know that without knowing which two types at all. Don't tell me which types you think it might be or anything, but if you are have a specific thing like that, it helps me to know that.
I've taken several different tests and I always get the same result, but um, I would still like to test and
Okay.
see what your opinions are.
Okay. Um, do you exercise regularly?
Yeah, I recently started.
What kind of exercise do you like to do?
Um, I have a medical condition, and physical therapy and regular exercise really helps.
Okay.
So I do some very light cardio and I try to build up my core muscles, shoulder muscles, hips, stuff like that.
Okay. Um, are you somebody who has a clear sense of how many hours of sleep you need a night?
Yes, I did not get enough last night.
When you wake up in the morning, can you tell by how you feel whether you've gotten enough sleep or not?
Not always. Sometimes I get like 3 hours and I feel really good, but then sometimes I get 10 hours and I feel good, and sometimes I feel like crap with 8 hours, but I know I need 8 to 9 hours every single night. More like nine, but
Okay.
that's the best for my health.
Do you have you been to a live show of any sort in the last 2 months?
No.
How about a non-live show, like a movie, or I guess what else would be non-live show? Um, a cartoon. Uh,
I think I watched I think I watched a movie at home, but not I don't think I went to the movies.
okay. Have you been to the mall within the last 2 months?
Mm, maybe.
Have you purchased anybody a birthday present within the last 6 months?
Yes. I purchased my mom some food.
Okay. Was it like a special kind of pickles that she likes you got at the store, or like you bought her dinner?
I got her these danishes, which are her favorite.
I see. Okay. Do you remember the occasion when you went into this boutique bakery and bought these danishes?
It wasn't a boutique. It was just from Costco.
I see.
Um, that was a couple weeks ago though.
Can you detail any specific experiences while you were in the Costco? Something insignificant, for example, you accidentally crashed into somebody's cart and had to say "excuse me," or a guy stocking the shelves accidentally knocked some things over or something.
No.
Okay. Um, do you have a clear understanding of why I'm asking these questions? What I'm trying to get at?
Yes. You're testing for introverted sensing.
Yeah. Okay. And do you know this because you've watched some of these typing session videos before, or because you watched my videos in general before, or because you just know about functions outside of that, or what?
All of the above.
Okay. Um, so how much of a sort of I guess you'd say, would you consider yourself more a student of cognitive functions or a ideator about cognitive functions?
That's a good question. Can you be more specific?
Well,
Or
are you when you watch a video about cognitive functions, are you looking to learn things about cognitive functions, or are you, say, looking for stubs to build your own ideas off of, or, for example, critiquing it, like trying to find what's wrong with it?
yes, to both. I'm trying to learn what other people have to say, and I kind of try to compare them to my own experience and also just if they make sense.
Okay. Have you changed a lot over the last 5 years?
Uh, Personality wise or habit wise, like
Let's talk about
personal
let's talk about
growth.
let's talk about habits first. Has your behavior changed over the last 5 years? Like I used to drink a lot of coffee, but now I don't. Or I used to love playing frisbee, but now I like to play video games or something.
Um, I took reading back up. I went through a period where I was drinking a lot, but then I stopped.
Did you
That's,
did you stop because you felt like you were drinking too much?
yeah. I
Was,
was drinking a lot.
was there a specific incident that you said, "Whoa, right after that, I embarrassed myself there. I need to stop."
I embarrassed myself a couple times, but that's not when I stopped. I just, well, I stopped because it's not good for my medical condition,
Okay,
but um, I just kind of decided to stop.
okay. Was it difficult to follow through on that decision, or did you find it easy?
No, not difficult. I'll have a very small sip of uh, like a hard cider every once in a while, but that's it.
I see. Do you smoke weed?
I did, and then I decided to stop.
And why you decided to stop that one?
It made it difficult to think, and I tend to be all or nothing with these things. So I either
A little bit addictive.
don't do it at all. Is it addictive if
Um,
it's super easy to stop?
I don't know. The idea of being all or nothing, that's a very addicty
Yeah.
approach. But then again, if you don't have difficulty stopping, then I guess there's nothing, you're not addicted to it in any sense, but it's a very addictive way to approach drugs, I guess.
Okay.
Um, you smoke cigarettes?
No.
Did you ever smoke cigarettes?
I tried to once.
You weren't successful, or what? Did you fail at
Yeah,
smoking cigarettes?
basically, I was it's a long story, but I did not like the taste and I just didn't enjoy it.
Did you have a clear life path? Do you know where you want to be in 5 years?
Mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? Whatever details are comfortable sharing.
Um I'm a software engineering student. I'm engaged. I want to get my bachelor's, move to Oregon or Washington, get married, um, and I want to have decided whether or not I want to adopt kids by then.
Okay. You're not sure.
Not yet.
Do you have a partner that you want to adopt with, or
Yeah, she's saying she does.
oh,
She's
okay,
engaged, right?
engaged? Okay, sorry.
Hmm.
Is your partner's last name Blistina?
No.
That's fortunate. It's a good thing, probably.
Yeah, it's for the best.
You wouldn't want to be Christina Blistina.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant.
Okay.
I'm actually not gonna take his last name because I don't like it.
His last name's Penis? Wow, that's an awful last
No.
name. I would be with you. I'd be the same as you. I'd be like, I'm not taking that last name. I am not going to be Eric Penis. Um, okay, well, let's see. So you're not taking his last name. Is there any political thing behind that? Or are you like, I'm a strong woman. I don't need your last name. I ain't your bitch. Is it like that?
Nah, I don't really care about that.
Okay, you just don't like the name.
Hmm.
Right. Now, my daughter, she's indicated to me that she's not going to take her husband's name because she wants to make sure that her child, or most importantly, that her child gets my last name because she's the last Strauss. You know.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's nice.
Is there anything like that in your reasoning? No. Okay. Um. Okay. So, Spacey, do you have any questions?
Hmm. Why are you into software engineering?
Um, it's kind of a long story. I was an econ major and I was taking the calculus classes that I was supposed to, and I really enjoyed it. And most of the people in those classes were engineering majors, which I kind of honestly knew nothing about. I didn't want to stop taking math classes, so
Who would?
I, yeah, I was like the only person who enjoyed them.
Sorry, this is Kim.
Um,
Oh, sorry, one second. Hello, Kimmy? I'm in the middle of typing. What's going on? What? There's another one. We had another ad this morning, so. But. Okay, sorry about that.
Dang it, Kimmy. Okay.
Okay,
um,
go ahead.
so I didn't want to change my major to math because the only thing you can do with a math major is be a teacher or an actuary, and I don't
Right.
like either of those fields.
Fair enough.
So I decided to go into software engineering because it was more I could take more math classes and hopefully it would apply in some capacity to my software engineering.
What kind of software do you engineer?
Um, I'm still just a
Yeah.
Oh,
student.
you're a student.
I'm not.
Right. Sorry, I forgot. Um, do you have a kind of software you want to engineer?
I would like to get into artificial intelligence.
Okay, that's cool.
I see.
I
Where
kind of
are
like
you?
that.
Artificial intelligence, as in self-aware consciousness, or artificial intelligence, as in algorithms to solve problems?
That's a complicated question to answer. I want to get into the kind of artificial intelligence that uses matrix multiplication to learn things over time. That's a kind of algorithm, I think.
Okay. Is it? Is it? I guess what we're asking sort of is it something that's going to be designed to learn how to do a specific task better, or is it going to be something that's designed to just be able to learn anything? You know?
Probably just a specific task.
Right.
I don't think I'm going to be one of those groundbreaking people that designs conscious AI or anything
Look, I can tell
like
you
that.
this is how you got to do it. Listen, you just got to program into it the prime directive, which is make expectations being reality. Program into it the three means of information transfer: put, get, and receive, plus interface, and the cognitive function sort of processes. And then you just have to let it grow. You can't build an AI. You got to let it grow. It's got to experience shit and derive things from stuff, and therefore I develop an identity over time.
That would be really interesting. I actually haven't watched your video on that. I've been meaning to.
Oh. Well, I probably do have a video on that somewhere. Okay, so Um, let's see.
What do you do for fun?
Read
Read? What kind of things do you read?
nonfiction, and I've been kind of experimenting with different genres. So I just read like some experimental literary fiction
Okay.
I finished last night when I couldn't sleep.
Sounds challenging.
Yeah.
It was a really good book.
Was
It
it?
was very confusing in the beginning, but at the end it all came together.
Right on.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about perception management. Now, when I say that word, perception management, I say I want to talk about that. What do you suppose I'm talking about?
Well, I know you're talking about extroverted feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
I think
Go ahead.
that I try to do some conscious perception management in the term of how I look. Sometimes, but I'm not sure I can.
The real question is, are you careful about what you say because you're aware of how what you say is going to impact other people's attitudes, perceptions, beliefs, or whatever?
I would say I'm careful about what I say because I am afraid of how other people are going to react, and um, I'm I don't take very many risks with what I say.
So are you saying that you avoid conflict?
A bit, yeah.
Because it seems, I imagine there's a particular reaction that you're afraid of. Right?
I don't like drama, and I don't like people being angry and just
Are you
coming at me.
are you worried about being accused of being socially awkward?
I'm pretty aware that I'm socially awkward. I've been I've been told that I'm socially awkward and shy, and my fiance says I'm careful.
Okay. Um, if the refrigerator breaks, what do you do?
Um, is my fiance around? Or will he
He
be
is, but he
around?
just broke both of his hands. Now
Oh,
he can talk you through it if you want him to, but he can't do anything.
I'd probably look it up myself then on
Okay.
how to fix it.
All right. Now you're pretty good at when you figure out what it says, how to fix it, you're applying that knowledge and successfully fixing things.
Honestly, I haven't tried.
Okay. So, do you have political opinions? Did I already ask you that?
Yeah, I have some not very traditional political opinions.
Are you willing to share any of those with me?
We're not here to judge, it's
I,
just
I
indicative
will
of type sometimes.
I will say I'm an anti-capitalist.
Oh, okay.
And can you share any of your reasoning for that? I'm not looking to challenge anything you say, by the way.
Okay, good, because I will lose in a debate, I'm sure.
I have no interest in arguing with you about politics. I'm just trying to get a sense of how you justify things or don't or whatever, you know.
The amount of power that unfettered capitalism, most capitalism, allows people to accumulate, it can inherently leads to people being taken advantage of.
Okay. Do you have a particular advocacy of a preferable approach, or are you just saying, are you just critiquing the capitalist staff?
I think there are a couple approaches. I have some theories about what's going to happen in the future when it comes to that.
Do you make a lot of predictions like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have predictions about what society will look like in 10 years, how it will differ from how it looks now?
I would say I can't predict the timeline very well, but 20 to 50 years, I have a better idea.
Okay. How much of your considerations factor in climate change?
Not a ton.
Okay. So is this what you see fundamentally as an ideological change in humanity that's going to happen?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I see different timelines, and like one would involve climate change disaster, and two or three would involve ideological shifting.
Okay. Let's say I made a brand new product. It's half a juicer. Okay. It's a juicer, but on the side of it, it has a hummingbird feeder. So you can enjoy hummingbirds visiting you while you're juicing fruits and stuff. I can't think of any good names for my new product though. I just call it combination juicer hummingbird feeder, but they say that's not going to sell any products. So can you help me come up with a few good names for my product?
The humming juicer, watch birds and juice,
I like that name. Watch birds and juice.
uh, the juicing feeder,
Pretty
drink and
classic.
feed, the humming. Sorry, I'm nervous.
The squeeze and
Uh,
hum.
the squeeze and hum. Did I say the juice and hum? The
No.
juice and hum 9000?
You could say um, the Audubon squeezer, in reference to the Audubon Society. You could figure out what the subspecies of bird that hummingbird is, and then something like that too. I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of class of bird there. Okay, well, interesting. Let me ask you some TI questions and see how we do with these. Can you tell me who my mother's sister is?
Your aunt?
How about my mother's sister's son?
Your cousin?
How about my mother's sister's son's mother's husband's uh, wife's sister's son?
You.
Correct. Okay. Let me ask you a couple of syllogistic questions. So, if no dogs eat pie and Joe's eating pie, can we validly conclude that Joe is not a dog?
Yes.
If only pigs bark and Porky is a pig, can we validly conclude that Porky barks?
Yes.
Okay.
If only pigs.
Bark and Porky is a pig, can we conclude that Porky barks?
Oh, no.
Why not?
Because you said only pigs bark, not all things that
Right,
bark
right.
are pigs.
No, not all pigs bark.
Sorry.
Only doesn't mean all, right? So only pigs bark. Therefore,
Yeah.
anything that barks is a pig, but not anything that a pig barks.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this kind. If all men are cars, and all cars have horns, and all horns honk, what can we conclude about men?
All men have honks?
Yes, that's very good.
Very nice.
I didn't realize I fucked up the question until after I was done with it, but you correctly answered it anyway.
Okay.
All right. Have you heard the hats question?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's a warden and 3 prisoners. One of the 3 prisoners is blind. We'll call him Blindy. Okay? The other 2 prisoners we'll call Abe and Bob. Abe, Bob, and Blindy. Okay? Um, the warden brings these 3 prisoners out of their cells. And says, in this bag, you guys, I got 5 hats. Okay? I got 3 red hats and 2 white hats in this bag right here. Now, look, I'm going to blindfold all you guys. Well, I'm not going to blindfold you, Blindy, because you got no eyeballs. They were pecked out by crows. That's how you got blind. But I'm going to blindfold the other 2 of you. Alright, now, as you reach into this bag, you pull out a hat and you put it on your head. Now, these are little party hats, so you can't see your own hat at all. They're little pointy party hats that sit right on top of the head. You can see your other guys' hats, but you can't see your own hat, right? Alright, so the warden has them all put on the hats, and then he takes out the first guy's blindfold. And he says, okay, look around at your fellow prisoners here, Abe. If you can tell me the color of your hat, you can go free. If you tell me the color and you're wrong, I'll immediately put you to death. But if you tell me you can't say for sure, then you just go back to your cell and finish out your sentence. So Abe looks at Bob's hat, he looks at Blindy's hat, and he goes, I don't know what color my hat is. So the warden says, fine. Now the warden takes off Bob's blindfold. He says, Bob, if you can tell me what color hat you have, then I will let you go free. But if you're guessing it wrong, then I'll kill you immediately. Or you can go back to your cell. So Bob looks at the other guy's hats and he goes, I cannot tell what color hat I have. I just have to go back to my cell. And the warden says, okay, you gotta go back to your cell. And the warden goes to Blindy. He says, now Blindy, you're already blind, so I can't take off your blindfold and make you unblind, so you just have to be blind. But if you want to tell me the answer, if you can tell what color hat you have, based on the information you currently have, then I will let you go free. If you guess wrong, I'll kill you. And if you don't know, I'll put you back in your cell. And he said, I do know what color hat I have. And he tells the warden what color hat he has. And he goes free because he was correct. How did he know, and what color hat did he have?
This will take me some time. This would take me a lot of time.
Okay.
It's 3 red, 2 white.
Correct. How would you begin approaching the question?
By trying to figure out what the 2 color hats of, so Blindy and the other guy, he
There's
wouldn't
Abe,
know.
Bob, and Blindy. Abe and Bob are both sighted. First, he pulls off Abe's blindfold. Abe looks at Bob's hat, looks at Blindy's hat, and says, I can't tell what color hat I have. Bob then takes off Bob's blindfold. Bob looks at Abe's hat and looks at Blindy's hat and says, I can't tell what color hat I have. And Blindy says, I know what color hat I have.
Is it a...
The way to begin
Would
answering...
he have a white hat?
Who?
Oh, would he have a white hat?
Who, Blindy?
Yeah,
Why would he have a white hat?
because Abe saw Bob and Blindy and saw that
Under what
they
conditions...
both had a red hat, and then Bob saw
How
Blindy.
did he
so
know
he
this?
doesn't know.
Look, the question you got to ask yourself is, under what conditions would Abe have been able to answer the question?
I wouldn't know then.
If Abe opens his eyes and he sees on Bob a white hat and on Blindy a white hat,
Yeah, then he'll know he has a red. Yeah.
so
And then
did he see
if-
2 white hats? No.
No.
So we know that it's not the case that both Bob and Blindy have white hats.
Yeah, that makes sense. So they either have two reds or a red and a white, and then Bob did the same, and so he couldn't know. But then Blindy knows because they've both seen a red hat. No, that's not right.
Here's the answer, and it's a tricky question because it requires you to put yourself in the mind of each person in succession. So Bob opens his eyes and he knows he doesn't see two whites. If he saw two whites, he'd know his own hat was red. It's the only situation in which Abe could know his hat is red. So we know Abe doesn't
Okay.
see two whites, right? Now here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bob opens his eyes. He knows that Abe didn't see two whites.
Mm.
So Bob knows if he sees a white on Blindy, his own hat must be red.
Okay.
Blindy knows this. Blindy knows that Abe's looked and the conditions under which Abe would have been able to answer it, and
Mm.
that Bob's looked and the conditions under which Bob would have been able to answer it. And so, given the fact that if Bob had seen Blindy's hat was white, he would have known his own hat must be red because he knows that Abe didn't see two white hats. Then Blindy knows his own hat must not be white. Therefore, it must be red.
Oh, okay.
It's a very difficult question. I've asked it to a lot of people. Everybody is flummoxed by it at first, and the reason is
Yeah.
because unlike most questions, this one requires you to presume each party is an active TI user engaging with the question, and then put yourself in their
Mm.
perspective. Anyway,
That's
regardless, uh, let me see. Spacey, you have any questions?
Um, let's see. How are you an only child?
sorry, had to take a drink. No.
Okay. Um, how do you? Where would you put yourself among your siblings? Like, what is like your kind of role? Like, for example, my older sister's kind of the rebel of the family.
I was the good student in the family, just between my brother and I, but
Okay,
I was also kind of the black sheep
interesting.
because of
Your
my political views and my dad and I really like each other, but we butt heads sometimes.
okay.
Also,
And
because of
maybe
your
my
heavy
brother
coat
has different.
of dark fleece.
Yes. My brother might have a different perspective on that though. So I don't know.
Did your parents stay together?
No.
They split up. How old were you?
I was too young to remember.
Oh, me too.
16, huh? Okay. How was? Did you? How did you do? How was your social life in high school?
In high school, I would say I had friends, but I didn't act like myself at all.
Who did you act like?
Somebody who I don't think I really liked. I don't.
Were you more gregarious?
Yes, I think so. I kind of I got a boyfriend and I kind of shunned my books or ignored them and
He's like,
I
Christina, babe, come on, let's go up to make it a point. Let's get our Mac on. You don't got time for any more of this
it
study.
wasn't it wasn't quite like that. I still studied a lot, but I hung out with a bunch of gossipy girls that caused a lot of drama and they kind of just attached themselves to me, if that makes sense. Like they came up to me and I just went with the flow, and then I saw myself acting not quite like them, but not like myself either.
I see. And did that make you feel uncomfortable?
Yes.
Is it important to you to act like yourself?
Yeah.
Do you feel influenced strongly by what other people think you should be like, or you just reject that out of hand?
I reject it. The in high school was kind of me experimenting with fitting in, if that makes sense, making a conscious effort to fit in, and it didn't go well.
Was it because you didn't end up fitting in, or because fitting in didn't suit you?
Both.
Do you often think as you go about the world that people are doing things wrong or in a stupid way?
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
though you reveal nothing emotionally, that kind of secretly your rage runs very deep about that fact.
Yes.
Mm.
I'm not exactly proud of that, but it's true.
Okay.
No, it's nothing to be proud or ashamed of.
Right. It's just
Simply,
type.
yeah.
It's typical, is what it is. It's typical, right? So, you want to talk to? Do you have the same thought I'm having?
Probably. There's
Um,
only one thing it could
There's
be.
only one thing you really could be, I
Yeah.
think, which is an INTJ.
Oh,
That's what I thought I
What were
was.
you thinking? Something different?
I was thinking ISTJ. Here we are
No,
again.
I think she's an
Here
INTJ.
we are again, Eric.
This one is not an
Are you
ISTJ.
positive about that? Because
There's,
she has that vibe to me. Completely.
um, why? What defines a human being? What is the most defining thing about them?
I've given this a lot of thought. So
Okay.
I think we're like Sisyphus, and that we're meant to endlessly search for meaning when there is none. And when we think we've found it, the rock will fall back down the hill and we'll keep trying,
That's an interesting
just keep
interpretation of that.
going.
Can you recall a specific instance in your own life that's reflective of that life philosophy?
Yeah. Well, not the meaning of life, or the getting up and keep trying bit.
Is it a specific
I've,
instance, or is it a general thing like I've been doing this I mean, that's sort of a general. You can't really have a specific instance of repetitively getting up again, right?
Right.
yeah, just well, yeah, throughout my throughout my life, but I think it's related more to the meaning that we have, if that makes sense.
Do you like? Is there a specific kind of vegetable that you like better than other vegetables?
Broccoli?
Why do you think you like broccoli better?
I don't know. Just tastes better, I
Were
guess.
you raised eating a lot of broccoli?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Are there fruits in your childhood that you like that you think they seem gross now? Like, for example, I'm into plastic cheese, what my parents call plastic cheese, on certain things only. My parents called American cheese slices that are wrapped in plastic. They always called it plastic cheese when I was growing up. And so, like the other day, Kimberly made a burger, and she put plastic cheese on it, and I was like, "Oh, cool! This has got plastic cheese like they're supposed to in this kind of food or something." And Spacey's like, "It's not supposed to ever. Nothing's ever supposed to have this shit. It's not even cheese. It's like half vegetable oil or whatever." My point is, for me, it's cool because yeah, I know it's not as good as real cheese, but it's got that childhood American cheese taste. So it resonates with my experience.
Yeah. The I used to like mac and cheese, but I'm a vegan now.
You're a vegan? I'm pretty sure there's
Mhm.
not really any cheese in Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
That orange powder cannot have very much actual cheese in
Well,
it.
I mean, it claims that it does.
I mean, it's orange powder.
I know.
I guess it's got
It's just
it's got
dehydrated cheese,
animal stuff in
basically.
it. So why are you a vegan? Is it moral reasons? Is it health reasons?
Moral moral and environmental. So my stomach has been a lot better since I started eating vegan.
Oh, okay.
I see. How about porpoises? Do you eat porpoises?
What's a porpoise again?
It's like a dolphin.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe there was a vegan
I
exception for
actually
porpoises. No,
I actually
I don't know where
do
I heard
eat
that.
clams and mussels. I'm technically something called an ostrovegan.
So you only eat
So
shellfish or what?
not shellfish. So clams and mussels don't have
They don't.
brains.
They don't
They
have
don't
nervous
have a,
systems. Yeah.
yeah.
So they don't suffer, basically.
So
So
you'd be fine with eating
Mhm.
lab-grown meat
Yeah.
if it wasn't taken from a
In
sentient being.
small, probably not a lot of it. I've kind of lost the taste for it, I think.
Now, what about in the scenario of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where the creature has been genetically bred such that their sole and greatest desire in life is to be to go to the table and say which part of me do you want to eat, and then to go back and be cut up and served to people, and it's just a state of continual ecstasy that they experience if they go
Yeah.
through this process. Would then it be okay to eat meat?
Hmm.
Yeah, it would. Okay,
yeah.
that's not.
Like a like killing a Meeseeks
This is not
from
an
Rick and Morty.
experiential frame at all.
Huh?
It's not an experiential frame at all.
Right. What were you like when you were like 6 years old?
I know I read a lot, I think. Or maybe that was later. Uh
Were you super quiet?
I think so. I had friends because I kept one of those friends for a long time. But I think so.
Okay. I had a follow up question here.
I have a question. There's a guy. This guy, he's got a pan, and he's got a pickaxe, and he's dressed in dusty clothes, and he's got a burrow, and he's got a satchel, and he's got a floppy hat, and he's walking off towards the mountains. What is he?
Is he a miner? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, a prospector of some kind. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, have you heard the troll question?
Um, I think I've heard you mention it. I don't
I'm
remember.
gonna give you a short version of it here, which is basically you've got a city. Trolls come. They're in the river, and they're taking a 10% troll tax. They call it. And the problem is, you only have enough food saved up for the winter to feed everybody pretty much exactly. If you pay this troll tax, every time a boat crosses the river, the troll comes and steals the food from it. Your bridge just washed away recently, which is why the troll's there now. Anyway, so if you expected your food supplies to last all winter, but now with the bridge gone and the troll taking 10% of his troll tax, he runs up to the boats really fast before you can even see what he's doing. He grabs it, no matter how well you've got it hidden. It's his magic power to be able to take 10% of any food across the river, be it a slice of bread or a dead cow or whatever. It he can take 10% of it. Anyway, you can't afford to pay this tax all winter long, and you got to deal with this troll problem one way or the other. You got to deal with this problem. So, what's the solution to the problem if you're the mayor and you basically autocratic and do whatever you want?
I mean, do you have weapons?
Well, you got it's the Middle Ages. You got swords, crossbows, stuff like that, horses, shields, lances. You don't have guns. And this troll's 12 feet tall and he's got spiny, thick, leathery skin.
Yeah.
It's hard for you could kill him, but it's gonna be you have to strategize how to do that because it's not gonna be easy.
Can you trick the troll to
How
thinking something's food when it's not food?
you want to Okay. So you want to send fake food over the boat?
Yeah.
No, it's his magical power. He can always tell
Mm.
what anytime you have a food on a boat, even if it's just like 10 crumbs of bread, he'll come take one crumb. He's always capable of knowing when you've got food on the boat and running up so fast and taking it that you can't possibly stop him. Now, so there's no way to stop him from taking the tax. In other words, but remember, he takes it every time and only when food crosses the river in a boat.
Can't you keep the food where it is?
Well, they
I'm
see
sorry, maybe
the
I
town is
missed
split.
something.
I didn't really tell you all the details. The town is split in two. Half the side of town is the farmers and the farms and the
Mm.
foodstuffs. Okay, the other half of the side of town is the merchants and the townspeople and the ruling class and stuff. And the thing is, in the olden days, when you had a bridge, they used to just take it across the bridge, no problem. The food would go across the bridge and whatever. But now you got to take it across in the boats, and you got this river troll, and he's stealing 10% of your food. He says he's providing a very useful service, though. By the way.
I think I'd try to kill him, but
Can you think of any other solutions? You can do things in the story problem. You can ask the narrator questions, that's me. You can act as mayor and talk to other characters in the story, like, fetch me my advisor on military affairs or whatever. You can do that. You,
yeah, I would probably try and get rid of him. Even even if you
okay, it's me, General Talbot, your
figure out.
military advisor. I'm here. I gotta tell you, Mayor, I'm concerned about this. You got a 12-foot tall troll in the middle of a river. Now, we could. I mean, obviously, we can't just run out into the river and try to stab him. He's a river troll. He's going to be way advanced to us.
Yeah.
The horses aren't going to get us there because it's a wide river. We could maybe try to get in boats and float downstream, try to like lance him or something, but I don't think that's going to work. I think he's going to capsize our boats and kill our men. I don't know. I'm in a bit of a loss with my military strategy. I only went to 7th grade in military general school, so maybe you could help me out with some strategizing.
Are there enough resources to build a large weapon or a large boat?
What kind of large weapon do you want to build? We do have a couple of catapults back around, parked around back.
Yeah.
You want to bust out the
Catapult and
catapults?
big a big arrow thing.
A big arrow thing, huh?
Oh, she
A
means like
big
she means
kind
a,
of bow.
Oh, you
ballista.
mean a ballista? A giant crossbow.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good idea. Now we don't currently have one, but I'll get my giant crossbow maker friends on
Okay.
it right away. Okay. All right. Well, that's a good solution. That'd probably kill the troll. I've never heard
Okay.
anybody come up with make a ballista before.
Well, apply
Oh,
more
really?
power can be a good solution. Yeah.
People have used catapults before.
Yeah.
Okay.
People have used flaming arrows in the dead of night. I've had very, very interesting solutions of all sorts, but I've never heard anybody make a ballista before. Now,
I have to admit that that comes a little bit from Game of Thrones. That
oh,
Right.
that image popped into my head. You might get that more commonly now.
I see. Okay. Well, the best answer, quote unquote, or the uh, most solvency based or something answer is move the people, not the food. So,
Oh, yeah.
right. Um, Other solutions include you can kill the troll by poisoning it, but he doesn't actually eat the food that he steals, so it's kind of a convoluted way to kill him. You can, however, and somebody has successfully killed him by poisoning him before. You can you can get the neighboring town to come help you if you want to. You can. There's other solutions that are pretty straightforward that nobody ever thinks of. How about fishing in the river for some extra food? You know, that works. There are fish in the river because that's what the troll eats. Um, and you could also hunt some, but if you hunt, your advisors warn you that you're gonna exhaust the game population for future years.
I think I would still want to get rid of that troll.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm. What do you think, Spacey?
Well, I guess one last question I want to ask. I guess, uh, Can you identify like a point in your life where you like diverged from like the political opinions of your family or whatever? Like,
Yes. That's most of my life.
no, I mean like
The
what happened?
the
Yeah,
point of divergence, the scene where he said, "I'm not gonna vote Republican anymore, Mom. I'm
yeah,
gonna
Uh,
vote Green Party. God damn it, you're gonna like it."
yeah.
I mean, my dad and I have always butted heads, but we did come to uh we did a lot of yelling on a trip he took me to my doctor's appointments, which is like a 2-3 hour trip. And after that, I feel like I got it out of my system and I'm like, there's no point in
I,
this anymore.
well, look, let me ask a different question, I guess.
Oh,
What made you decide to be anti-capitalism? I guess. Like, is there any? Can you give me any reasoning? Like, what was the event or the thing that you read or the person that you talked to? You know, like, was there like a?
I had always had a gut feeling and I had tried to express them in the past and was
Since what
uh
age?
I think the youngest age I expressed it was 14.
Okay, but you had to learn. You kind of had to learn about, I guess, economics and stuff to some degree to get right a grasp of.
I actually well, I actually kind of just felt it was wrong that most that some people had this ridiculous wealth, all others were homeless and starving.
Okay.
And just I would come up with these things and say them because I was raised on Fox News and then I was more libertarian and then something must have happened.
Yeah, I'm wondering what happened. That's all. I don't know.
Uh, that's a good question. I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't understand. The TI is in quite strong.
It's good.
Obviously, you're a computer science person. I mean, she got um, men have honks.
Right.
That
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I mean, so that's consistent
Yeah,
with demonstrative TI in an INTJ. ISTJ CI is can be that good, I guess. We've talked to a couple of really smart
That's what
ISTJs.
I mean.
They don't remind me of her. She for a while I was thinking at the beginning she was an INFJ
No, I
because
never got.
she's got a placid display that ISTJs it's more earthy or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really get Tulefy off of her. I don't really get INFJ vibes at
No,
all.
I don't either.
Right.
No, I know. I'm saying, but the NI is what I'm saying. At first, I picked up a little bit of INFJ because I was getting the NI off of her.
Okay.
Then I concluded, no, INTJ. I never really settled on ISTJ at all. I haven't heard any SI from her, really.
I guess not. I don't know if I've heard. I mean, yeah.
What did you come in thinking you were?
I thought I was an INTJ.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's go with that then. I mean, I can concede that.
Yeah, that's what I've gotten on a lot of different tests.
Yeah.
I've taken probably all of them,
It's just hard
but
for me to. It's hard for me.
precision isn't accuracy.
Yeah, to
So
completely rule out ISTJ, I guess, in a lot of these cases.
But
Right.
here's the other thing: is she knew all along where I was going with all my questions.
Right.
ISTJs don't do that,
Right.
and they don't have that depth fluidity with
No,
the
that's
jargon
that's true.
because to them it's more experientially based. And in fact, you know, it's just they have a different relationship with the ideas. It, it's like that's why I ask periodically, like, where am I going with this? You're always right on the money. In fact, when I asked the FE question, it was like you were kind of embarrassed at me for asking it because it was such an easy question. Obviously, I know it's this or
Right.
yeah. Highest TJ?
oh, I wasn't trying to
No,
crack it
I'm
up.
not busting your chops or anything. Believe me, I'm just saying that to me is indicative of INTJ, an intuitive, talking to an intuitive and saying these things are so obvious. Your questioning approach is much more nuanced than that, Eric. So
Right.
why are you only engaging with me on this surface level shit?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I'm leaning INTJ, but I always have this voice in the back of my mind, especially when someone's so herky jerky like that. I guess
Do you think she's herky jerky?
a little bit,
Herky
yeah.
jerky?
What do you mean
What
by
does
that?
that mean?
Physically or mentally?
Physically,
Oh, maybe that has to do with her
Right.
physical thing.
but also
I'm
in her,
nervous,
also in her speech
and also,
stuff,
yeah,
it's kind of
I have
staccato, I guess.
tremors.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So there you
Right.
go.
interesting.
So that probably is
Yeah.
why she's less still. But look, the thing is, SI DOMs and NI DOMs can both have that kind of stillness about them.
They both have stillness, but I find NI to move more in curves, while SI moves in like a bunch of lines approximating a curve.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't get that at all, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I haven't noted that at all. I feel pretty confident you're an INTJ, and this is the other thing I would say is when we publish this, there's an INTJ called Mega Bro, who
I remember him.
will usually comment on if I'm typing somebody's INTJ or ISTJ, will usually comment and say, "No, Eric, you're wrong. That's an ISTJ," or "Yes, you're right. That's an INTJ." Hopefully he'll see this video. Hopefully he'll comment on it. I'll need to put INTJ
Mm.
somewhere in the mix, I guess.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, it's my
You
dad.
can do INTJ makes sense.
All right, can you take over for a second while I take this phone call?
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right.
Hi, Dad.
Oh. Okay. Oh boy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Regarding the movement, I'm pretty nervous, and I do have a bit of a tremor.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the It's not about how stiff your body is necessarily.
Mm.
It's about something that to me permeates their very being. It's when I see normally I guess when I see INTJs, except for the ones who are really nerdy and whatever, they tend to sit a lot easier. They tend to lounge a bit more. They tend to be just a little looser in their mannerisms. In general.
Mm.
And I see ISTJs seem like they're trying to hold themselves together a little more.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
I would have to watch more videos.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch too many before I did this.
But no, I think he's right though, because I'm not always. I type a lot through just intuitive vibes that I get from people sometimes, which isn't always accurate. But it's just patterns that I see overlaid over everything. So, but I'm definitely.
What type are you again?
I'm INTP.
Mm.
But he's right though. I don't see enough SI from you to lean the other way. So
What would tell you exactly with the SI?
nothing.
Is it just memory, or is it deeper than that?
It's. I think memory is almost as simplistic an understanding of SI as feelings is of FI. But
Okay.
But that is one factor of it. One way to test for its presence is to test someone's memory. However, I wouldn't say the memory is such a massive component of what it does.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
And it's also internal signals, temperature.
It's sort of about. It's about narratives, I guess. It's about having a story for things, having impressionistic things. It's kind of like it's like walking through a field of lemongrass and like remembering the smell of lemongrass when you were on your grandma's
Oh,
lap when you were 4. That's
oh wow.
it's like that.
Yeah, and I have heard them talk like that.
Right.
That's interesting.
Do we have what time's the next one for? 10:30, you said?
Yeah, we got
Okay,
a half
we're fine.
hour.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I forgot. I was trying to just clarify in my head. Okay, that was Dad fretting, basically, calling
Oh,
to fret because my mother escaped his clutches again this morning and was walking down the street towards Huntington Boulevard at a brisk pace. When she wants to go somewhere, that old lady can move. Let me tell you. Of course, she has no idea where she's going or who she's going to go see, but she's convinced she's got
oh,
something important to deliver to somebody, and off she goes. And
yikes.
yeah.
I hope that's okay.
Well, it's my dad trying to take care of her by himself and having problems periodically. But he brings her over here today, and she's going to spend the night here tonight. And I'm going to talk to him a little bit more about how I can facilitate things and make sure he gets enough assistance. But that's neither here nor there. So, INTJ is my conclusion. Basically, when
Yeah.
you're talking to her, do you agree in general
Yeah,
that things
I
seem
do.
consistent with that? So I think you're the tests were right about you. Most people that test INTJ on online tests are not INTJs.
Yes, I
Most
agree.
people are something other than INTJs. Anything from INFPs to ISTJs to any number of things. However, you, I believe, definitely are an INTJ, and I think that the viewing audience will, by and large, fully agree with that typing of you. Some typings are going to be more controversial than others. The last one we just put up a little while ago, I think, is going to be
That's
controversial.
going to generate some buzz.
It's
Yeah.
going to be controversial. I typed her. We ended up both agreeing that she's an ESFP, but that
Mm.
one, for a while we were thinking ISTJ on her and a couple other things, and it should be an interesting one. This one, I think everyone's going to agree. You're pretty cut and dry.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Have you gotten pushback when you indicate you're an INTJ in the past?
No, but I saw your typing with Joyce, and she was explaining that on her YouTube. She got type policed by you. You didn't arrest her, but she did get pushback from people. And you told her that if anybody disputes her type,
Mm-hmm.
she can just send them to you,
Yes.
and that sounds really nice.
Right. Yes.
Because I'm planning on starting a YouTube channel myself.
Okay. Well,
And
we are your typology accountants. If you get audited by any typology IRS agents,
Nice. Yeah.
you send them to us. We will defend you. Cut and dry. You're very cut and dry.
Yeah, we will defend
Really?
you in court. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have any question about you. We'll see what Mega Bro says. That would cause me to have a little bit of question. If Mega Bro were to say, "Nah, she's not an INTJ," then I'd be like, maybe not, because he's pretty good at spotting them.
If
But
he did say
Mm.
no, I would feel quite vindicated in my suspicions. But
all right, but I don't.
I don't know.
But you know what? I don't see how he would even begin
I
to
don't think he
argue
would.
ISTJ.
I don't think he would disagree.
I don't think he's going to disagree at
Yeah.
all. He may not comment at all, but at the moment, I'm about as close to 100% as I usually can get with anybody. You seem pretty much textbook to me.
okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you're able to talk anymore, but
We
I
got
saw your
about 10
type
minutes
police
left.
videos. Um, I saw your type police videos, and originally I had watched a bunch of videos by INTJs, and I could not relate to them at all. And then I saw your videos, and I'm like, that's why I can't relate to them at all. They're definitely not INTJs, or at least, maybe confirmation bias. But
Self-identified intuitive thinkers are always worth a little skepticism.
yeah.
I get that.
For some reason, people want to be intuitive thinkers. They don't get how much of a challenge there is.
Being an INTJ kind of sucks.
I'm sure it
I
does. I would never want to be an INTJ.
Me neither.
Polar
No
FE is
offense.
kind of a bitch. No, like I I was I've been getting increasingly annoyed because of all the people on the internet that are like, this is what it means to be an INTJ and it's so great and awesome. And I'm like, I don't understand. I always think people are mad at me. That's the way that my polar FE is, that I really am always
INTJ 9?
assuming.
Maybe you're an Enneagram. Is that an Enneagram 9 or Enneagram 1, you think?
If she's worried that people are mad at her,
Or maybe that's Enneagram.
that could be either 1 or 6, the way I'm seeing it.
Or it could be 3, maybe.
Nah.
I've always typed a 1, but I don't
Well, yeah,
I don't know
you
how
seem very
accurate that
one-ish.
is.
That could actually be the
Okay.
one lends a certain stiffness,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Worried about people being mad at you.
right?
I'm never worried about
But
that.
here's the thing: though, one wouldn't necessarily be.
Now
You'd
there's
only
my
be worried about
ESTP
people being mad at them
fiance.
as a consequence of them being morally wrong, basically.
So what are you worried they're going to be mad at you about?
Yeah.
Having not said thank you, having not followed through on some social protocol, or that because you stabbed their puppy?
Yeah.
I just always think they're mad at me,
You gotta have something.
and I don't understand why.
Oh,
That's the
interesting.
problem.
I feel like there's just you must have been
Did you have people mad at you a lot when you were growing up?
something like that.
Yeah, honestly.
What were they mad at you about when you were growing up? Not being socially graceful or something?
No, just I think I would do things that annoyed people and I wouldn't know that, and then they would get really angry and yell and
Adults
Yeah.
or other kids?
adults.
Okay.
Other kids were mean. They didn't
Listen,
yell.
Don't try to reject and internalize any of that shit.
Right.
Remember this core message. There's nothing wrong with you. Okay? There's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong with you.
It's been helpful actually, and I've gotten into the habit of asking, just asking people if they're upset or if they're like, did I do something wrong? And usually the answer's no,
Right.
which is telling.
That's the only way to really challenge the delusion is to.
But this time,
Yeah.
just right now, you really fucked up. I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. You didn't fuck up. Nobody's mad at you. I just couldn't help playing a little bit with that. It just seemed funny. That's polar FI for you. I don't really. I'm not very.
That's fine. I don't take it seriously.
Yeah, let's just give them a quick jab and see if they happen to cry. Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm serious about this. Don't if my words mean anything, I don't know, but I have some unsolicited advice. Don't internalize other people's bullshit. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't be afraid, instead of worrying if they're mad at you, to get mad at them.
Right.
Okay? Often that will dictate the relationship. Like, I'm the one who gets mad, you're the one who cowers. It's a
Yeah.
lot better than the other way around.
I think, honestly, that really does seem to be a pressure point now that I think about it. /SE makes perfect sense. You need to get more comfortable playing with those power dynamics, sort of.
Why is your significant other the right guy?
He's very relaxed, and he does make me more present. He makes me laugh. I'm pretty sure he's an ESTP, and
Pretty good pairing.
It's a pretty good pairing, yeah. It's not duality, but it's pretty close. I mean, you're providing each other. It's semi-duals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
semi-duals, I think, because it's the other dominant. Like my ISTJ is my semi-dual, so INFJ is ESTP's dual, so INTJ is their semi-dual. It's a good pairing. I think it's probably the second best pairing, although you could argue that.
oh, that's interesting.
that ENTJ would be maybe a second or third best pairing for you. But you could certainly
I'm
make,
always attracted to them.
you could certainly make the argument that ESTP is the second best.
They do tend to be very suave, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're pretty suave.
Yeah,
They cut a sharp
they do.
jaunty
Yeah.
self.
Yeah.
I'm ENTJ and I'm here to tell everybody how to do everything. Yeah, it's something I would like to maybe take a few notes from the books of the dressier types, because you know
Right.
you can get a lot of currency from just dressing nice and wearing a tie and shit.
I just need someone to dress me for a while until I start picking up on what.
That's
they're
what I
doing.
try to do.
Yeah.
Is just, my dad is I think he's an ESTJ, and he always taught me about the importance of being presentable and dressing nice, because it affords you a lot of social currency.
That's very eighth slot FE.
It is very 8 FE. He's not wrong.
I wouldn't be surprised though if you guys had some conflicts over what kind of knowing should be used. He was always telling you.
Yes.
But Christina, my experience says that the thing I do all the time is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like,
But your experience is wrong.
but my universalist knowledge says you're full of shit, Dad.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, that's not. It probably wasn't a ton of fun being raised by an ESTJ dad being an INTJ. What about your mom? Did you spend much time with her?
She's different.
Yeah, it's not like we don't talk about mom.
We don't talk
Mom
about
was
mom.
not mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
not.
Okay, fine.
I can't effectively
Right.
type her because she's literally schizophrenic.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, my first wife was hard to type. It's hard to type in retrospect because she's nuts. I don't know what's wrong with her. She's just generally nuts.
Let's just go with ENFJ just to be safe.
My first wife was actually
just
probably ISFP, maybe INFP. I don't know. Okay, well, that's gonna about wrap it up, I guess. Do you have any last thoughts, questions, queries, complaints, concerns, comments, or whatever else starts with C?
I'm not sure if this will be quick. How can I tell the difference between FI and NI? Because it's really
That's a good question. They kind of blur together.
In
In your brain.
INTJs, especially, they really blur together. I mean,
Mhm.
INTJs are very FI-ish. They don't display much FI. They don't display much feelings. They're very unrevealing in their affect, but
I would
they're very FI driven.
say, I mean, you seem fairly knowledgeable about this stuff already, but the main thing people seem to forget about NI for some reason is that it is a perceiving function. It's not inherently rational or judging anything.
It perceives fittedness,
Right.
whereas FI experiences weight.
FI is what actually gives, weight to what your NI is giving you. It's what actually makes you feel like some things are more important than others or something like that. It's what you're actually using to discern. Yeah.
that makes sense actually.
Yeah, so when you feel the significance of something, that's FI. When you feel the correctness or fittedness or truth or synergism of something, that's NI.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And thanks for letting us publish this as well. We appreciate it. And those at home watching, don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.